Can I thank the member for Lalor for putting this very important motion before the chamber and reflect that, like both the member for Lalor and the member for Groom, when the Four Corners program recently aired, I also had a lot of locals contacting me very distressed by what were quite shocking and appalling exposés in that particular program. It reflects the fact that I believe that our community standard is very clearly one that says our older Australians deserve our best protection and respect, that they are entitled to a dignified and quality retirement life, and that when there are cases where people are out there purposefully and with complete disrespect seeking to treat them simply as a cash cow, and to take advantage of them. And as the member for Lalor said, that increasingly is the case as we see superannuation become a more established form of retirement funding of lifestyle, that we need to do something about it. In particular, the issues that were exposed around the nature of these contracts were very concerning. And as, again, both the member for Lalor and the member for Groom indicated, this is a space where federal governments have an important role to play. Issues such as very high excessive exit fees, particularly where there's lack of understanding about exactly what those fees are, how they've been accrued, and the extraordinary processes that people have to go through in order to get some sort of exit from these retirement villages are real issues of concern. I mean, I was very moved by the member for Lalor's example of a couple where, and you can just picture many of us with our own parents, where there's been a major health problem, quadruple heart bypass, classic example, sadly. And to then have all the stress, not only the stress of the circumstances, but to have it dragged out over a year of time, because of the obstinance and difficulty of dealing with these sorts of contracts is just completely unacceptable. Any exploitation of this nature of older Australians is an unacceptable situation, and we should be taking action on it. It's good, I think, to see the member for Groom reflect the fact that it should be not an issue of contention in this place. I think that we would all see that action on these issues needs to occur. And indeed, Labor is ready to partner with the government to make sure that older Australians can retire with both dignity and security, not only in their living circumstances, going to some of the issues that are under state control around the regulation of these sorts of villages, but also financial security and the issues that we can have a say on around contracts and financial matters. It is, I think, a really important initiative that I hope sees success at the COAG process to actually find some nationally consistent legislation and protections, particularly consumer protections in this space. Sadly, we are increasingly seeing, as our society becomes more complex, that there are people out there looking for an opportunity to use the funding available to people for improving their lives to exploit that for their own benefit and profit. And I reflect, for example, on the recent scandals we've had over recent years around the vocational education sector, where government, with the right intentions in providing funding to people to be able to better themselves through education, saw terrible scandals occurring where people were using that opportunity to exploit people. This, to me, is a very similar thing, and I've had a number of issues raised with me locally about people's concerns with their ageing relatives. I have to say, not only in the retirement village area, but just generally trying to organise care for elderly parents has become so complex and so difficult. Around aged care packages allocations, one that I regularly come up against, and we need to make sure we get these systems working effectively for families and for our elderly, so that they do have a life not only of dignity, respect and financial security, but a life of quality, that they can actually enjoy their retirement years and have some real benefit out of what should be a great Australian retirement system.